Hi, good morning at stockmarketlive.tv. Today, the news in Wall Street, everyone is talking about the crash in Micron as well as SanDisk. And you are aware of the reasons why both companies they crashed in 2015. So today I'm going to demonstrate, show you the full stock forecast recorded live in 2014 when I said that both companies, Micron and SanDisk, they were going to crash. And this despite all the stock analysts upgrading Micron at the very top in 2014. Before I do it, and bear in mind what I'm going to show you, it takes 27 minutes because it is the full stock forecast which I recorded live in 2014. And one, along with Green Mountain Coffee, these forecasts, I said to investors, those interested, you could make 100 million US dollars. When I published Keurig Green Mountain Coffee stock forecast, I made a very important announcement. I offered you 100 million US dollars if you prove that the content that you could see, it is not legitimate or genuine. And here with Micron, I'm going to do exactly the same. I offer you 100 million US dollars if you prove the content that you are going to watch during the next 27 minutes, it is not real, genuine, or that it was modified for some reason. But before I do it, I consider that is very, very important, since I'm not going to explain in detail all the steps with regards to Micron crash, but I'm going to call your attention for this article which is available on the web. The title is "Why is Credit Suisse raising the price target on Micron technology?" This is an article on this website, Benzinga, from June 11, 2014. And it was precisely on the same day that I said that Micron, it was dead. The forecast that you are going to watch, it was recorded ahead of these analysts raising targets $30 to $50. When they published the article, I said it is now, it is dead. So listen for the next 27 minutes my forecast with regards to Micron, SanDisk, two companies. And if you refer to the forecast that they are available on the website stockmarketlive.tv, for example, the one that I made available, the full transcript for Keurig Green Mountain Coffee, today in 2015, you understand why those that they believed you could have made 100 million US dollars if you had the capital to invest according to the guidance that I made available to you. So, hold on a second. Hi, today I'm going to make a presentation about this company, Micron, where today we opened a short position to hold. I repeat, a short position to hold. Today it was opened near $29. So the stock traded to $28.90, and we opened a short position in this stock. Now I'm going to refer to the past by saying that this stock, it was a former top short pick, where in 2011 I recommended to close entirely the short position at $5.70. That is the price that you see on the chart. And you have information about it, I believe, at the website and at blog of Beyond Trading. Having said this, thereafter, in 2012, I upgraded this stock to strong buy. And since then, the stock shares, they continued moving to new highs
in 2014. Well, I already addressed this in 2014, this talk in fact, by saying that in my personal opinion, this stock can very well be the next best buy. That is to say, the stock can trade between $29 to $45, but that to happen, in my view, that will be a bubble region in micro, and therefore I downgrade this stock to sell. I consider that this stock is overvalued, and this stock in the future can eventually, and my best case scenario on the short side, it will be something like $18.70. So basically $10 below the first entry short today to hold. So today the entry short near $28.90, that is the price that the stock traded today. And in my view, if the shares continue advancing to $30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and I'm going to show you the chart in Best Buy for you to have a perspective of this, and also a chart in micro. I think that this stock in the future can be one of the potential best buys. That is to say, what happened to Best Buy last year. The stock continued moving higher, didn't stop, and then one day the company announced poor results and the stock collapsed. And I think that the same can happen in micro. Now, I don't have a perspective of that situation to materialize into 2014, although that could happen. My view is that this eventually can, in fact, happen in 2015. So I don't have this as a short-term play. In fact, I already addressed this in 2014, that this stock, in my view, it would be far better short going in 2015. So those that they are interested to short micro, they have to have a kind of long-term perspective rather than short. Can happen eventually at any time. My outlook or my timing for this situation eventually to materialize, it will be 2015. And having said this, I also think that the higher it goes, better it is, because that is precisely what we wanted to happen in Best Buy. Best Buy that at $38 in 2013, it was already a sell, too strong sell, and the stock continued moving higher to $44, and then collapsed all the way down to 22 and something, or as you remember, in 2014. So I repeat that my best case scenario on the short side in this stock will be $18.70. I don't think that this will happen in 2014. I will be surprised. And that is the price, in fact, that region 18 to 20, it will be the price range that I would buy the stock, and not these prices here. And I think that this stock is one of the stocks in the market that can correct significantly once the market reverses. And one of the reasons is very simple, is that I think, or I believe, that many institutions, they have this stock on the long side. And while in fact this stock, it was a couple of years ago a strong buy and an opportunity to cover short positions, I think that this stock today, within that $29 and above, it enters what we call the bubble phase in a stock, and there are positions in Micron. That is my opinion, and it is in fact extraordinarily risky on a long-term basis. I'm going to, you saw the, and now I'm going to show you the 10-year chart that is the long-term, the most, basically at all-time highs in the past 10 years, as you can see. So after the collapse in 2009, the stock found a bottom in 2000, mainly related to overall market conditions. So the stock collapsed, the bottom that happened in 2009, and then the stock since then, as you can see, the strong buy rating given here at $5.70, the stock then rallied all the way up to basically $29. But $29, quite frankly, my friends, and even up higher, I think that this stock became one of the very good opportunities then on a long-term basis on the short side. That is to say that the stock can continue in fact advancing because of overall market conditions and momentum. So the stock has a very high momentum, and this is a very defined trend, a momentum lag that has lasted for basically 2 years. You see that this momentum lag. But now we are going to look at, and this is the daily chart, now we are going to look at the monthly chart for 10 years. So here you visualize or it is probably easier for you to visualize the bottom, the cover short, this on a monthly basis here, this situation. So this was, or this is called hammer on a monthly chart, therefore a reversal of a trend. The test of the bottom, this is a double bottom in late 2012, precisely on the upgrade to strong buy, and the stock since then moved all the way up to 29 2014. I don't consider the stock worth these prices. So I consider that the stock, although might be resilient for quite a while, and this can in fact last for several months, I think the stock, it would be by far a better opportunity if it would collapse again to the moving average to underline. The moving average to underline that in fact it is below my price target, or the short side, that is that $18.70 that I mentioned here. So I think that if these results going then into 2015, one institution, as an example, can eventually make a lot of money, and we are talking about a lot of money, on a correction, a significant correction in Micron. And this without the need, in fact, for the stock to collapse to prices that were seen in 2009 or even in 2010, 11 or 12. So for one to make in the future a lot of money on long side in Micron, on the short side, it is not necessary for the stock to collapse, to crash all the way down to previous prices. And the other thing that I want to say, and the reason to exhibit this monthly chart, is that you notice that most that invested in Micron, they didn't invest on the stock when in fact we upgraded the stock to strong buy. They invested then later on after the rally, and you can see this on the volumes. So basically this, you see this on the volumes, basically after the stock or the share price crossed the moving average to underline to the upside. And this is basically the same situation that happened in Best Buy. So Best Buy, this situation happened in Best Buy with the stock within 1 year basically, or less than 1 year, rallying from the $11.50 to that $44.05, and then the stock collapsed, and this collapse all the way down to a price below the moving average to underline, and in fact is still then fighting with the moving average to underline. So what I consider, and you see that here also the selling volume came collapse and not during the ascending phase. So during the ascending phase, on the left side of the chart appeared very nice. You see that institutions bought the stock during the rally, and then the selling volume to collapse, since there was, let's say, illusion that this company could be trading to $50 or even higher in the future, at least last year in 2013, and so the things they changed completely, as you could see basically overnight when the sentiment changes. And I think that although one does not have to have the same situation here, that is to say Micron to collapse as it happened in Best Buy, I do consider that these prices today and going forward, they are what I consider precisely the same situation that happened before in Best Buy. So this is for me, and this is my personal opinion, this is very near what we consider or entering the bubble region in a stock, and that bubble region it will be, in my view, the $29 to 45. Whether it can continue moving higher to $30 plus, that is something that you might be interested to see. And as I said before, higher it goes, in my personal view, better it is, because then the correction can be even more significant, because like I said in the case of Best Buy, the stock was at $38, and the fact that the stock continued moving higher to 44, the stock then collapsed. And here, if the stock or the share price, in my view, continues moving to that $35 or 33, doesn't matter when then the top will be, the stock then can also happen the same, and to have a strong reversal on sentiment and the selling volume to happen later on. Having said this, in terms of position sizing, my recommendation, if you are just going to rent the video and nothing else, that is to say that you are not going then to follow up the activity with a live trading service, is that to open today precisely as we did the short position, and then to maintain that short position, unless you want to adjust it, but that is up to you, in the sense that if the stock moves higher, if you want, you can use a trailing stop and then you re-enter at a higher price. Ideally, the ideal situation will be the stock to exactly go to $45, okay? So higher it goes, better it is, and you should use most of your available capital precisely for the extreme situation. And even if that does not happen, so that is something that, if, like I said, if you are just going to rent the video, that is something that you might be interested to follow up, in the sense to see whether the share prices can go up to that price or not, because if they stop to move higher, that at some point they cannot advance, even with very good news, even with very good earnings and so on, that can constitute then a top in Micron. So that has not happened, but I think that when you look at the overall market in the US, that can very well happen in the future. I also recommend for those that they are going to assume short positions in Micron, that you rent our lesson on the S&P 500 Outlook 2014. Okay, I think that is available for you, all those that they intend to rent, to assume and maintain a short position in Micron. So I am going to, this is the long-term chart on the stock, and we currently have a short position, as I explained. The short position, it was open today. Bear in mind that here on the chart I already had, and this was, as I said at the beginning of this video, I already had a plan for this, and a mid to long term plan, and I'm going to show you why. Because what today it is here. This ellipse represents precisely the region that I was looking for to sell short the stock. So the ellipse, today, for the first time, you start seeing prices near or entering the ellipse. So this ellipse is precisely that 29 to 45, okay? So going forward, what I do recommend is that you follow up this stock, and if the stock continues advancing, and this is basically the momentum lag, and here you have something like this for the moment, although you can use before it was like this, so the stock corrected here, and then, but this is because of the recent bottom in the overall market, and therefore the stock is trading according so far with the overall market, therefore no surprise at all. And if the overall market continues moving higher, I'm going to give you several rules that they are extraordinarily simple, and it will help you to build a short position, and as I said, higher it goes, better it is, okay? Because then if the stock goes to this, for example, to this red line, it rallies, continues rallying to this bubble region, then the stock can collapse in the future, okay? So just to say that my best case scenario on the short side, it will be this $18.70, okay? So the higher it goes, then better there is by far, you understand that if the stock moves higher and the higher it goes, then by having the stock collapsing in the future, better the profit it will be on the short side. So this is a plan, and where we already have a short position, so we didn't wait, or we have not waited for the stock to go to 45, and we will head to the short side, having as in mind precisely that region, the 29 to 45, even if the 45, and that is therefore why I suggest you that also you rent the SAP Outlook 2014. I don't have any more information to give you at this point, and I wish you good luck, and I consider that you don't need, in fact, to be involved in stock market in many stocks, provided you know what you are doing and you have a plan and you define your risk in advance, and then if you succeed, you can make a lot of money without the need to be involved in many stocks. So if you understand the game that has been played in, for example, in Micron, and the game for the future, and if you succeed in that game, and if you are successful in that game, you can make a lot of money, I repeat, without the need to be involved in many stocks in the market. If you want to have several stocks on your portfolio, and not only in Micron, and bear in mind that this is a contrarian opinion, obviously, because probably or most likely all of them in the States, they have strong buy ratings or a bullish outlook about this company, but that is perfectly normal because this is a momentum stock, while before no one wanted it, and therefore it is the reason why we consider that Micron, it was a strong buy at $5.70 to $5.85, okay? And this is one of the best calls in the market in terms of historical calls, precisely in this stock, as I have many situations where one had opportunity to invest. But you also have to bear in mind that the collapse or a correction in Micron might not very well happen in 2014, can very well happen, and that is in 2015. So I always had a plan for 2015 in Micron and not for 2014, although obviously things they can change. But the tape, and I recommend that you follow up the activity on the stock on the tape. You want to see whether the stock is going to have problems outperforming the overall market. The moment that the stock starts underperforming the overall market, that is to say the stock has clear problems to advance further, even with good news, I think that then you can see eventually your top in Micron. But also don't forget, if the stock continues advancing, And for example, you can have a top at 31 or 33, is a price intermediate between 29 and 35. If it continues advancing, you can then and that is in fact a situation that can very well occur, and in fact a likely scenario. So as I said, I repeat, because the higher it goes, better it is, because as I exemplified in many other cases in the past, including in social media stocks, after a while, that is to say, I think that one has to quit the long side. Even if stocks like that, the case in Best Buy and others that I addressed, the Corn is other example last year in 2013, if you don't quit at some point, and if you just maintain a long position on a stock, you just believe that the stock or the left side of the chart is going to be always, nice and beautiful and everything is going to be fine. I mean, that might not very well be the case. And then what happens? Then you see the right side of the chart get something like Best Buy, that is to say a collapse overnight. To finalize, what I'm going to say is very important. Currently, you have to look at the sector and not only the stock itself or even the S&P. You have to look at what is happening in other stocks in the same sector. And so the leader in the sector is this one, is SanDisk. And this is a stock also where, and in fact, SanDisk, we have a perfect history in SanDisk. This is other stock that I no longer consider it a strong buy. I would sell, in fact, entirely long positions in SanDisk at these prices. And this is a stock where Wall Street has strong buy ratings at this moment, and they believe that the stock, for example, can trade up to $125. Well, my friends, I consider that $125, although that obviously can happen, anything can happen in stock market, that in my view, it is other stock at a bubble price, if you ever see 125 in SanDisk. So in the end, you have, in a certain sense, in this video, two picks, not only SanDisk, but in particular our, in fact, plan is for Micron, is not for SanDisk. But this to say that, and I already recommended, in fact, I have a neutral rating in SanDisk, that is to say I would sell everything here, even if the stock continues advancing. And if your plan executes well, then in the future in Micron, and this is what I would like to say, is that also you might very well then be able to profit from SanDisk on the short side. That is to say, if the stock continues advancing, pretty much like Micron, so if the stock continues advancing 98 to 105 or 110, and then if Micron continues advancing 30, 31, 32, and then you see, or you get a top, and this is the same situation, you can eventually profit on both, okay? But our plan is for Micron, is not for SanDisk, although we are going to follow both cases and to see whether we can, in fact, profit on both cases. But so far we have not assumed, so far I repeat, we have not assumed yet a short position in SanDisk. It can happen tomorrow in time, but we have not yet a short position in SanDisk. And so this is what I want to say regarding this Micron. And when I'm showing you the SanDisk case, it's precise to show you the example. This is also the case of a former top short pick, one of the best, in fact, that completely melted, crashed, as you remember, a few years ago, and then found its own bottom, obviously, at prices they were very good to invest. Okay, that is normal, perfectly normal. That was the case in 2009 and even in 2000 and before. So if you look at can show you the short-term, the long-term chart, although I don't think that is relevant here to exhibit the chart, but you see pretty much like in the case in Micron, the stock collapsed and we were in fact short the stock from 2006 and 2007 we were bearish, very bearish, in fact, SanDisk, and we obtained at that point more profits than we believed that we could obtain, because I was not expecting the stock to trade all the way down to $7 or so. So that was during the crash in the States. So I think that you have also to look at this stock if in the future can break $100 or not, and to see whether the performance of the stock can follow up then the Micron. Okay, so in the end, since the sector trades, let's say, similarly, I think that eventually you can make profits on both. Okay, although I think that Micron, in my perspective, is worse this point compared to SanDisk, but both are expensive. Okay, both are expensive, and in my view, Micron more expensive than SanDisk. But you see that the charts are similar in the sense that also this stock trades at a new all-time high, as well as the case in Micron. And with this, I finalize, since I think that I gave you plenty of information about this plan, and so what you have to look for until next year in 2015. Thank you.
So, my dear friends, you see that I recorded live the forecast. This is a forecast, and today you have shares of Micron at $19.55. Therefore, if you refer to my call in SanDisk, two companies, you see that I edited the chart. I put specific price targets, and in these two companies, along with Green Mountain Coffee, this store forecast where I recorded live also in 2014, calling a multi-year top at $156. Today you have Green Mountain Coffee at $78. So you have the chart on the screen with regards to Micron crash, and if you refer to the history and the video, you realize in the past years we created the history in SanDisk, in Micron, and in Green Mountain Coffee. The top in Micron, it was $36. So those stock analysts raising targets to $50, if you bought or invested in Micron following Wall Street analysts, you lost all your money, as I expected precisely to happen. The reason why I recorded this stock forecast in 2014, betting that these companies, they were going to crash, and the forecast, they were available at stockmarketlive.tv. And we are the only company in the world doing this, and I'm very proud, and congratulations to all those that they participated in it. Thank you.